And we are live. Welcome, everyone. We're so glad to have you here. I'm Leona Dooley from of Ebony Ivy and Time, and I have my co-host here, Miss Denise Jordan, and we are working together as the Modern Home Economist.
Yes, we
And
are.
I hope that all of you are joining us on this journey of becoming your own modern home economist.
And can I interrupt for a second, Leona?
Sure.
I was looking at the comments already, and I was looking over there, and I let's see who is it that was saying, is there any other modern Alexandria? Are any other modern home economists already here? So they are adapting that name. They
Absolutely.
are embracing it.
Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. And, just to kind of get us into where we are tonight, we're here tonight and we're bringing encouragement,
Yes.
excitement,
Mhm.
but we're also bringing with us reality. And there are a few things that are going on in the atmosphere around us. And, we don't really want to get deep into what all's going on because we know we have no control over it. And,
Right.
Miss Denise, I thought about this. One of the things that we have talked about as modern home economists is the fact that we prepare
Yes.
in advance. And we're doing that because so many things happen that we don't have control over. And yes, I'm off script already, but I saw you looking down like, oh my God, where is she?
You know what though? You're right. And that's the thing. When you said we're off script already, the world is off script right now. So that was perfect for that. And you said we prepare and just in case, I had done a video a couple of weeks ago and the title since I have since changed, but was like I am
Mhm,
preparing for what's coming.
mhm.
Who knew 2 weeks later, this is what was coming? That's not what I was thinking of. When we've been talking about preparing, we've been preparing for maybe weather
Mhm,
instability
mhm,
or possible disruptions in supply lines related
right.
to maybe some kind of work or whatever.
Mhm.
Who knew that we would be involved in a conflict right now? Lord knows I didn't.
I did not. And, I'm going to bring a person in, one of our subscribers, a part of our community. She's here very often with us on Wednesday night, and that's Angela. And Angela uh, sent me a note last week, and she had shared with us that she was struggling a little bit.
Mhm.
And of course, knowing us going 100 miles a minute, we're thinking she's talking more about food and
Yeah.
money and those kind of things because that's usually the direction that we go. Only to find she clarified the fact that she's dealing with her husband having to basically pick up, and he had to go
Oh
overseas
no.
because he is a part of the military, and it's rocked her world. And
Is she
so
tonight on with us tonight? Are you bringing her
I
on?
haven't seen her yet. And I'm hoping she'll be able to come in. She usually sometimes she'll get in toward the end,
Mhm.
and I can't remember where she's located right offhand, but
Mhm.
anyway, I'm not sure if she's on our same time zone or not.
Mhm.
But it was just devastating, and it
Oh,
brought back memories of when my son had to go to Iraq and was in Afghanistan for so long. And he did 3 tours over there. And I was sharing that with her.
mhm.
And so we talked about the effects upon the family, the effects upon your health because of the worry. And that's where she is at this point. She is
Yeah,
worried. And I told her, I said, you have every right to be. I certainly understand.
I understand
So,
too.
to all of us, if we have time at the end, we will certainly pray our way out. But
Yes.
Miss Denise, you just remind me, and
Okay.
we will definitely, if she's able to get in tonight, we will definitely. I hope she, I had asked her if it was okay if I mentioned her tonight, and she said it was fine. And so, we have people who I'm sure we may not see directly in our chats, in our comments along the way, but certainly there are those who are suffering, with this situation. And then
Um,
there's those
yes.
who don't have anybody over there, and it's still
Right.
devastating.
Well, it's not only is it devastating, since you're talking about that,
Mhm.
we talk about our emotional state and how we've been. I think did I tell you I broke my coffee table?
You know what happened?
So I was watching the news and I was in the kitchen and I heard all this screaming and crying. And so I came into the family room to see what my husband was watching.
Mhm.
And it was Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this poor woman was trying to find her husband. She was just devastated. She was just sobbing and sobbing. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And I just sat down on my glass coffee table. Never done this before. I just sat down on my glass coffee table.
Mhm.
Next thing I know, the table shatters, it breaks, I fall back. My husband grabs me and gets me up. So I wasn't hurt. I just had a little
Mhm.
scratch on my thigh. But then I'm sobbing, I'm just crying because of the emotional impact that I'm receiving from just watching the news. And he's like, I'm turning the TV off. And he turned it off. He says, I don't want you watching the news anymore. It's like you can become overwhelmed emotionally and spiritually by consuming too much of this. I just had to stop. But every now and then I'll go in and watch, but it can be overwhelming.
It can. And we'll share some more stories along the way as we get here, but I'm purposely cutting to this person because I know they're going to have to go in just a little while. This is Deani Wise, 87, and she says, "Hi, Miss Denise and Miss Leone." She said, "Greetings from China."
Yeah.
Can't stay long, but I just wanted to say you all are my aunts in my head. I've been catching up on past episodes, and she said, "We blessed her." And then she continues, she said, "I'm not married or mother yet." And that's right, yet. But we're all homemakers. Oh,
Boom. You know what I say? It is
I
not
love that.
1950 anymore. It could be just you and your boo, or you and a family. So yes, you are a homemaker. Oh my
Oh, that is so
yes.
sweet. And she said she really enjoyed the Four Pillars replay. Evidently, she watched that last night.
Mhm.
And but I did want to bring her in just in case she had to go a little.
China. We've never had anyone from China
I
before.
know. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that you are here with us. And we so appreciate your being here. And while we're doing this, let's get Psalms 146. Let me tell you, girl, you were here bright and early today, early for class. And I was so excited to see you when I pulled everything up and I went, oh, she's already here. You beat the teacher coming to class. Which was so nice. But we appreciate seeing you here. And Alexandria was the one who's welcoming and looking for those modern home economist girls. And so we are just so excited to see all of you. Dahlia's here with us. We are glad to see you. We've got Catherine Frazier with us. Hello, hello.
The
And
way from
she's coming
Cali.
from Cali. And we're happy that you are here as well. And let's see, that was Deani. And Tamika's here. Hello, hello. Glad to have you. We got TJ on. You're early tonight. Yay. We're glad you're with us. I know you have a busy schedule, girl. So I'm always blessed when you're here.
Yes.
Hazel's here with us. We're so glad you're here. And let's see, we've got M. Gallagher who's here with us today or tonight. And this corner of the kingdom. I think yep, Kimberly. And
Kimberly.
she made the live.
Hi,
Yay!
Kimberly. Have you with us, Kimberly?
Glad you're here because she's usually listening in the car going to work.
Yes.
And so we got Gallagher. She says she loves you, Miss Denise.
Oh, thank
And
you. We appreciate you being
wise,
here.
wise woman Lola. She said, wow, she made it for a live. Yay.
It's a minute since you made a live, so we're glad to see you. You always here on the replay, but it's nice to have you here in person.
Absolutely. We got Relaxed Bubble, who's here. That's Steph from California as well. We got California coming in. We got Laurie Williams. Good evening to you as well. And Andrea is here. She said she just loves us. Oh, you are so
We
sweet.
love you guys too. You
I
guys
love
don't
you
know,
too.
they really inspire us and keep us motivated.
Mm-hmm. You know, guys, really, when Miss Denise says that, she's not playing. I mean, we eat, sleep, and drink, thinking of things that we can do to perhaps better serve you, because that's really what we're doing. We're trying to serve you, and we think of this as our ministry to you.
Yes.
And so we want you to know that when we come to you, we have certainly taken a lot of time to prepare. So we got Lady J's Junkets. I like that. Good evening, ladies. It's Jamela from North Carolina and a modern home economist. Yay!
Yes.
All right. Deanne said, she's here. This is her first live, and she's glad to catch the first few minutes and saying hello to everyone as well. We've got Covington Creek here with us. Yay! We're glad you're here.
And speaking of Sally, last week we were talking about canning water.
Yes.
She did send me a resource that she had access to that talked about how you can can water. And another viewer also sent me an email and said, Sally from Covington Creek was right. You can water, and this is what you do. So yes, so they did have the science. I didn't have the science, but they did.
Yes, definitely. And somebody sent it to me, and but I was just amazed. I hadn't realized that people actually did that. But to be honest with you, I would have never thought about canning water. And but I guess we've never been in a situation where we've needed to.
True.
And so but now that we know, we might have to start doing that.
Yes.
Oh, someone did say with reference to water that for us not to put the water down like in a basement or a lower area, only because you want the water to be at an easy, quick access.
Oh, yes.
And evidently she lives in an area that has a lot of bad storms, and they lose a lot of power and those kind of things. And she was saying that, when you really have to start digging around trying to get to your water, that can be an issue. So she said, try to put it in a place. We were talking about, well, maybe you can put it under the bed. She said, actually, that's not a bad idea. And so anyway, we've got Sierra who's here with us. She said
early bedtimes for the win. So I have to wonder, did she get her littles to bed early tonight? Is that
probably so? She said she made it on time. And Gallagher said, with friends, you don't have to stay on script. Oh, that's sweet. All right. Now, Kim said, yes, she says she's tracked her grocery spending for a long time, and she's trying to scale back in the light of world events. And, I think we all are, and trying to be careful and good stewards of what we're doing. So, guys, I'm going to stop there, and we're going to get into what we're going to talk about tonight. Well, Miss Denise, I don't know about you, but I had a situation going on this week. You know, I was work. We you would have thought I was finished with the kitchen, but I
Yes, because you
had
got a new kitchen not too long ago, and I'm so
I had the
thrilled.
cabinets and the counters redone, but I didn't work on the lighting, and I was always struggling, particularly with videoing. That lighting was always an issue. So I found a contractor that was reasonable, retired, and so he came, and I had drawn out what I wanted, and girl, in 3 days, voila, it's done. And so I'm so excited with that. But I wanted a permanent light fixture in my pantry. And, because all of us are, getting back there, we want to be able to see everything in the
Yeah.
pantry. And, I when he got ready to, I had pulled everything out of the pantry, knowing
Oh,
he
no,
was
you
going to
didn't.
have to, yeah, and just did it, darn. And I had to take everything out, only to find that they couldn't get the shelving loose. And because of that, he couldn't run the wiring for the light. And
Oh,
it just
no.
it didn't work out. So all of the pantry sitting out on the counter and on the table and everywhere else. And so at first I was a little brokenhearted. But then I thought about our modern home economist, because actually it gave me a place to go tonight. And we're going to talk about what I learned in the process of putting that pantry back together. And it was a whole new mindset. Whole new mindset. Not that it took away from what we've been doing, but
Mhm.
it just gave us a little different way to look at it. And
Yes.
so let's talk about that.
Okay.
Um, One of the things that we're dealing with at this point, all of us like to have our lives stable. We
Mhm.
want to be stable. And when the world is feeling uncertain, you want to be able to still walk in your kitchen. You want to have a wise grocery budget that
Mhm.
you can feed your family with. And you want to just have a calm routine. You need a calm place that you can go to, that you enjoy preparing for your family. And that's really what it's all about when you're a modern home economist. That place of calm. And you're calm because you're well prepared.
Well, exactly. We prepare steadily,
Mhm.
not fearfully. So
Mhm.
hopefully all of you that are here tonight have been preparing steadily. So despite the instability that we are facing right now, you feel somewhat calm because you're working your system. And we think we talked about that last week too.
Mhm. Mhm. We did. And so tonight, first of all, we're going to kind of look back at what we've done over the past week. And, with week two, we were trying to stick with the one grocery trip. We were trying to avoid those midweek runs, if at all possible. And we wanted to avoid the temptation. And that's the hard part, because it's always tempting when you go in the grocery store. And
Mhm.
I'm going to jump in and tell you a story before we get into this. I needed, um I was making one of the breakfasts that we were doing, that if
Mhm.
you all didn't see the breakfasts and Miss Denise and I did, please take a look at those. They were really good.
Oh, we
But
should link them.
yes, and it was delicious. But it was one thing that I thought I had enough of, and I didn't. So I sent him to the grocery store for one item, and I sent him with cash. Okay, because I sent him with cash. I handed him the cash, and I said, I only need this. So he said, okay, I'll go pick it up for you. Not only did he stay seemingly forever, and I'm standing here waiting for him to come back, and he walks in with an armload of bags. And I said, I sent you for one item. What in the
Well, how did he
world?
do that if you gave him cash?
He said, I said, where's my change?
Oh,
He handed me 38 cents. 38 cents. I said, you know what? I just got through talking to our friends on YouTube, and I told them, don't ever let your husband go with you to the grocery store because they're gonna usually end up spending money that you hadn't planned to spend. I said, and I sent you with cash, and you come back with all of this stuff. He said, well, never send me hungry. He said, you hadn't fed me yet. You were working on the breakfast. So I was hungry.
oh,
And
that is so funny.
so, needless to say, even though I have to admit the money I had given him was a part of the little extra I thought I was going to have, but he gave me my money back. But it was just the principle of the thing. For him to walk in here and he spent that money, but it was like, what in the world?
But it was probably groceries that you can use, probably a little bit more on the snacky side or the treat side,
Yes.
but you can probably use them.
Oh yeah, he was happy as a little lark. He was happy. He said, "Oh, I got my so and so. I got my such and such. I got my." He said, "Because you know, you don't let me go to the grocery very often." And I'm thinking to myself,
And
"No."
this is why. And this is why.
That's right. I said, I'm trying to stay on budget and you mess it up. So for you all, first of all, let's ask the question, have you, and let us know in the comment, have you been keeping up with your receipts? Now, I have. I've been keeping those receipts and logging them on our Modern Home Economist sheet. I know
Mhm.
Miss Denise has one right there with her. And keeping that handy. And for those of you who may not have been here the first night that we started this effort, if you look down in either one of our description boxes, you will see that it's linked there where you can get one. So it's not too late to be able to get one. And in fact, even if you're just getting here, then you can start. You
Right.
know, this is a start. And so
Well,
let's
not
just
just
say,
to start. Once they complete this challenge, they can
mhm,
start another on their own.
absolutely. You know, my hope is that, and this is my plan, is that yes, I'm doing it as a part of the job, but I intend to keep it going.
Mhm, mhm.
You know, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep it going because I can really see the benefits of it. And it's making me meal plan consistently
Mhm.
because even being the modern home economist, every now and then life gets to life and I forget,
Yeah.
you know. And but the reality of it is that we work to do better each day.
Yes.
So if we mess up one day, we try to make the next day a little better. So hopefully you have been logging your expenses along the way because that's going to be critical. And for week 3, and week 3 really is all about tracking, being able to track. And that's the advantage of having the worksheet that Miss Janice is giving you, is that you're able to log in your receipts, you're able to see what your budget is, you're able to put the name of the store, and hopefully you're kind of sticking with one main store. I know those of you who have little larger families, you may need to go to a bulk store as well, but your main shopping is going to be done at one predominant store. And then, of course, you're putting whatever it is that you
Mhm,
actually spent. And you're able to see also off on the side what you have left over.
mhm.
I was amazed
Yes.
the amount that I understand I had planned for 125 and per week. And because the very first week I didn't have to spend any because I was able to work totally from the pantry. And most of the second week, I was able to still stay within the pantry. But here's what I found, and I did share this with Miss Denise this week, is that when I had to take everything out of the pantry, And this is something that I'm sure some of you might have thought of, and some of you may not have. I found that I had holes.
Yes.
And
That
we're
we're missing.
taking things out of the pantry, and we're trying to make sure that we put those items as we take them out, adding them to the grocery list and restocking. I didn't have any tuna. I didn't have any chicken. I had used them up. And, the one is none. Well, I was even beyond that.
Hmm.
And I did have some beef, and I had salmon, but my whole protein basket was empty. And so some other things had fallen in there. So I didn't realize that it was that low until I had to start really working with the pantry. So this week's grocery shop was focused on restocking the things that were missing. And so, so I would suggest, as you're tracking and as you're looking along the way, you don't have to do what I did and have to pull all the stuff out. But certainly, kind of keep up with as you're going the items that you're using so that you can very easily restock. Now, Miss Denise, you have anything you want to throw in there?
Well, I also was pretty surprised. One of the things that I thought about was when we started the challenge, I had just done a big grocery shop before the challenge started. So I didn't have to like get anything that week.
Mm-hmm.
The next week, I didn't need a lot. I just needed to get a few things. And when I added up what I've spent so far from the times that I've gone, I was at about $300
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
plus some change. So, and we've only got one more week left in the
Mm-hmm.
4 week section. So I've got about $150, $175 left on that amount to go for the next week. But what I realized was that having a well stocked pantry allowed me not to have to go to the store. Even if I could have gone, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to. Like I was making, I don't know, some dish, and I don't remember now what it was, but I needed carrots and I didn't have any. And then I thought, oh, wait, if I check my pantry, I've got some freeze dried carrots from Thrive Life and I can use those. So I got those carrots out and I used those. I dehydrated them according to the packing instructions and I used them in the recipe. And it was perfect. I mean, they worked out beautifully. So I was able to go to some things that I had stored on my pantry that I had not been using and found out, you know what, these work out pretty good. The other thing that I realized was my mindset had shifted because whereas I would have just sent the hubby out or I would have gone, like, say, when I'd been out for something else, I would stop and get this or that. I'm like, no, you are not going to the store for that. You're just going to either do with what's in the house or do without it until you're going to actually pick up groceries or it's errand day.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a day where I had to take my sister to the doctor. So on the way home, then we stopped at Walmart to pick up some coffee creamer and a few other things that we had on our list. We
Mm-hmm.
got things on our list. We were not hungry. And then we came home. So it's really made a difference in how I think about things. And I think that's the biggest thing, too. You know, like when we talk about as modern home economists, we don't drift, we decide. Well, I've been making decisions about, okay, I am not going to the store willy nilly. I am going to wait until I make a list. And then when I need to go, I'll go then. Otherwise, I'm going to find something in this house to substitute for. So I'm just so pleased that I've really been deciding.
Mm-hmm. 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 And and that's powerful
Mhm.
because you figure for some of us, that extra money is going to be valuable because,
Yeah.
and for all of us, really, because we're going to have to put it in our gas tanks because
Well,
of the changes in gas prices.
mm,
But, as we were thinking, I know all of us don't think alike.
no.
And all of us don't necessarily work the same. So we've got a couple of tracking techniques just to suggest that are ideas that, sometimes, you may have been been doing it the way your mom tracked,
Mhm.
whatever way she did with her receipts and, how she kept that going. And it may be that you may be struggling because I know when I was a new homemaker, I was all over the place trying this, trying that, trying this, trying that. And so we need to find a way that is calming and what works for us.
We need to find our own rhythm. That's the thing.
Exactly.
We need to find our own rhythm. And when I think about what my mom and my dad did, they were home from work at 3:30. Dad was home by 3:30. Now, if mom was working a night shift,
Hmm.
then she got home late at night, but she was up at 8 o'clock in the morning. So she was home during the day. Whereas when I was a young wife, I might have been home at 3:30 or 4 o'clock, depending on when I was working at the hospital on the
Hmm.
day shift, I was home by 3:30. But if hubby was coaching, it was 6 or 7 o'clock before he got home. So
Hmm.
our lifestyles were different.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then, we could walk to school when I was a kid. My kids had to catch the bus and the activity
Mhm.
bus after school. So they weren't home at 3:30 for dinner. So
Nope.
you have to find the rhythm for your home.
Absolutely. And, I think it seems like there are so many more. I give kudos to those moms who have children who are at home and they are homeschooling because I know what it's like to be in the classroom and to have your children at home. And sometimes teaching your own children is more difficult than teaching someone else's.
Yeah.
And but the reality of it is that you have to find your rhythm even with that
Hmm.
and find their rhythm when they work the best. And
Hmm.
so we came up with a couple of tracking techniques that you might suggest, that I'm going to suggest. Number one is just using the receipt. And that's where we're just taking our receipts, we're putting them in a safe place, we're listing each week what we're spending, what our target goal was. So say for instance, it's $125. That's what it just happened to Miss Denise and I had the same. And how much we spent. So I've been staying anywhere from $76 to about $80, every week. And so then and I have an envelope that what's left over, it goes in the envelope. So that was the reason I was able to give the big guy cash.
Gosh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, now that's a great idea.
Because I know me. I
Hmm.
know me. If I have plastic and I see something I need, I think I need, then it's going in the basket. So for me, I try to stay with the cash. And then that way I know I've got a cutoff point, a definite cutoff point. And some of that is just because I can remember a time when I wasn't as disciplined,
Hmm.
and discipline takes practice.
Definitely,
I
definitely.
hate to say it might have been 45 years of practice, but it was a lot of years of practice. I had to practice. And so, but I've always been good about keeping up with receipts. And so, but logging those receipts. And what it does is that it helps, number one, for you to see where your money's going, and it's instant, automatically, whether or not you have stayed within budget or whether you've overspent the
Well,
se-
the one thing, let me just jump in there that,
Mhm,
like, in my planner,
mhm,
there's a place like each day for me to track what I spent. And
mhm,
so I would put down the grocery things that I spent.
mhm,
If it was something that was like for the house budget that didn't count on the
mhm,
grocery bill, I did save those receipts, but I didn't
mhm,
track them in here, but I did save them. And then like my planner has like a little pocket at the back that
mhm,
I could put those receipts in.
mhm.
So that was helpful for me too, because sometimes you can get all those little minions in your purse, and then it's like, well, where is that receipt for this and that? So that's
Mhm,
what I did. I still used my plastic, but
mhm,
and you know what too? My sister went to the store with me each time I went this time.
mhm.
And so she knew too that I was trying to stay disciplined. And I like it when you said discipline takes practice. It also helps to have some accountability. Because it was like we were both saying, okay, we're just going to get blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
That was what we did.
Mhm. 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 It helps. It helps. And, another thing is keeping up with a running total. So, say you're starting at 500. And so each week you just subtract and subtract as you're going. And it helps you to see what you started with. And like for me, I purposely started with the $500, went to the bank, got it out. And so I've just been taking, and I just keep it on the envelope where the money is as I'm taking it out. But it keeps a running grocery total.
Mhm.
And, one thing that I found was that I was able to plan some meals that I really hadn't thought about, along the way. And it was like, oh, well, I do have this. Well, I can fix dinner with this, and this. And
Mhm.
so that was an extra dinner that I hadn't even planned in the meal plan. And so we're going to come back to that because that's going to be a pivotal point for all of us is being able to do that.
Well,
So,
the other thing though, if I could jump in right there,
mhm,
the other thing about that running total is you know right away what you've spent and how much you've got left.
that's right. That's
And when you have the cash, you can't go over because
mhm,
that's all you can spend. But
mhm,
even just having the running total though is a help. So even though I use
mhm,
plastic, I was we went one day and I spent $125. We went another day and I spent $125. But then we went a day where I only spent like $10 and another time where we only spent like 16.
mhm,
So it's like,
mhm.
okay, and we were
You
trying to.
know, I with my problem, even though the running total method does work for some people, I told you, we've all got certain ways that work. I
Mhm.
started with that running total method probably early in the marriage. And I found I just wasn't disciplined enough
Mhm.
because I would set a certain amount and I would go shopping. And, if you have a $500 budget, which that wasn't what it was, but I'm just saying $500 budget. And the first week that you go to shopping and you spend 300 of it and you still got 3 weeks yet to go,
Yes,
that's a problem. That's a
that's
problem. And so then I end up going over into some other money and bringing it, robbing Peter to pay Paul to put it back in, put some more money in. And so that's where the discipline comes in. And it took a while for me to be able to really embrace the discipline needed in order to keep that running total going. And I just have to admit that I'm being candid. I struggled with that. And so, what
well,
worked?
too, learning how to manage a budget, that's a skill set that everyone is not taught.
That's
And
true.
whereas we took home economics when I was in high school, I
Hmm.
don't recall us talking about learning how to manage a checkbook, how to manage a budget. So
Hmm.
when we were first married, and like I don't no, I don't think my mom and dad had a checking account. They always used cash. And I
Hmm.
could be wrong. It could just be what I remember.
Hmm.
But I remember when I went to college, we had to get a checking account because when you got your financial aid, you had to have a place for it to go and then
Hmm.
to be able to pay for your books and all that. I
Hmm.
hadn't had a checking account myself
Hmm.
until then. So then when I got married, that money comes in, you pay your tuition, your room and board and all that. So it's gone.
Hmm. Hmm.
I got married and I was trying to manage a checking account. Girl, it was overrun all the time. I remember one day I was sitting at the bank sobbing because I had overdrawn the checking account $100. Now,
Oh.
today, $100 is a lot of money.
Hmm.
It's not the end all to be all.
Hmm.
Let me tell you something. In 1972, $100 was like $1,000. And I was sitting there crying, like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And this was the day the ladies would help you. She said, honey, it'll be all right. She took the checkbook and helped me sort it out. But
Hmm.
that's a skill set too that we have to learn. So there's no shame if you still need to learn that skill set.
And that's true. And it's funny because we had to write a check the other day. I don't know what, I think it was to the contractor.
Mhm.
And Conway said, "Well, go get the checkbook for so and so." And I said, "I don't even have any checks." And he said, "What?" And I told him, I said, "I have not written a check probably in 5 years."
Well, I write one every week at the beauty shop, but that's the only place.
And see, I cash app. And so,
We don't
it's
have
that
that
we
anymore.
figured out a little bit different. But it's the world around us has changed, and how everybody's functioning has changed. Businesses have changed. And so now it's just different in trying to keep things going. But I look I look at your and I looked at people who it just seemed like managing their checkbook, back then was just so easy for them. It was just a
Mhm, mhm.
breeze, and they always had it perfect. And he was one. I mean, oh Lord, his checkbook was almost picture perfect. And I look at him and just want to almost throw up because because it was so perfect. And I'm thinking, that ain't working for me.
Mm-mm.
And so I did better, with cash and only using a certain amount of cash. So that worked. But, another technique is looking at your grocery list in
Oh,
categories. And it took me back to our four-part budget formula, where you have
yes.
the protein, you have the bulk section, you have your veggie volume, and you got your sauces. Well, I took mine and I broke it down, and the category was like, for the protein, I spent $21. For the pantry, just general pantry items, it was 18. For the actual meat, it was 34, and the dairy freezer was like $12. And then, of course, treats. And this was with me shopping for treats, not him, but it's like $9. And
Can
so
I
that
ask
includes
you to
things like
repeat
yogurt.
that, Leona? Could you repeat that four-part? Because I'm thinking some people are probably wondering what that is, and I think it's important to hear you say it.
Oh, that's true. Our four-part budget meal formula, and I have it listed down below in the description box as well, so that you can pick up a copy of it. But it is planning your meal plan in four parts, and it's so easy to put your meal together. You have your protein section, your protein anchor, you have your bulk items, which will be like either rice or potatoes or pasta or whatever kind of grain you might have, if it's barley, if it's quinoa, whatever it might be. Then you have your veggie volume, and you can decide if you want one vegetable or you want multiple vegetables.
Mhm.
And because your vegetable section is always going to be your least expensive. The most expensive, 9 times out of 10, is going to be your meat section. And then you have your seasonings and sauces, which brings it all together.
Bring it
And
to the plate.
that's what you want. You can take a chicken, you can take some rice, you can take a variety of vegetables and change the seasonings and have a totally different meal.
Change the flavor profile.
Totally different. 3 times a week, and they don't even realize that they're eating that same chicken that you started the week out with. And I started this week with a whole chicken, $12.
I believe it. I believe it. Was it you bought it fresh chicken?
Yes.
Yeah, $12.
And I just about fainted. And it was on manager special.
Wait, no.
Yes.
How can a $12 chicken be manager special?
Exactly.
Was it buy
Exactly.
one, get one?
No, no. But he was a nice size. I mean, it was a good sized chicken. So I went with that rather than the others because they were a little tiny. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll just pay for it. And so I came home, put it into the crock pot, and cooked him, and divided it up into four sections, because my plan, since it's just two of us, was to do four meals out of it.
Okay.
Well, as it turned out, I had guests for Sunday,
Oh.
and which we're going to talk about our Sunday meals that we did on the spot. And but I ended up with guests, but I still had half a chicken left.
Hmm.
So that gives me 2 nights of a chicken type meal to be
Hmm.
able to prepare, or I can divide it, put it in the freezer, and when I need chicken, I can go to the freezer and pick it up. So, I know Miss Denise, we were talking the other day on the phone, guys, and it was so funny. I was telling Miss Denise, I said, the kids were over. They surprised us and came Sunday, went to church with us. We got home, and I try not to ever send them home without eating. So I thought, well, I'm gonna come in. I got, the chicken was already going. I said, well, I'm going to fix dinner for them. Girl, I had some slamming macaroni and cheese, green beans, had a tossed salad, and they were just happy as little larks. Had biscuits and had that homemade jelly that was supposed to have been syrup. And and so, but they had an opportunity to sit down to a hot dinner. And it didn't take long. And so when I was telling Miss Denise, she said, well, you know what? We ended up doing something similar. Tell them about your dinner.
Well, I like to do Sunday dinner. It's a thing in African American culture to do Sunday dinner. You know what, though? Not just African American culture, because I have some friends that are not African Americans, and she says they do what they call Sunday lunch, but it's the same thing. The
Same
Sunday
thing.
lunch is like 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
But it's Sunday dinner, and you just have family over and you chat. Because I think Debbie's Kitchen talked about that they do Sunday
Mm-hmm.
lunch
Mm-hmm.
sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And but I had some turkey breasts in the freezer, but these were like the turkey breasts that you can buy in the deli. Like you can get the rotisserie chicken, you can get the turkey breast that's already cooked like that. And it's like a half of a turkey breast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had two of those in the freezer. So I got those out, thawed them out. I put them in the like in a Dutch oven.
Mm-hmm.
I took some chicken broth, pour over the top of them, and added some additional like carrots and onions and that kind of thing, and set it aside to cook. And I cooked some rice, used my rice cooker, and I made rice. And then I made collard greens that I'd had in the freezer. So since they had been uh, par cooked, when
Mm-hmm.
I froze them, I was able to put them in the crock pot. In a few hours, they were ready for dinner. And then Lynn made baked beans, and they were really good. And then some corn and green beans, and her green beans were really good too. So
Mm-hmm.
we had quite a bit. And I kept thinking, I don't think we have enough meat. I don't think we have. And she said, "Girl, we got plenty." And we had leftovers, and the three of us had been eating that leftover turkey all week. But it was just so nice to just gather together as family. And one of my cousins that was here had been ill last year. So
Mm-hmm.
she's doing better. And then she's since had a stroke, but she's doing better. And so her son led the prayer. And
Mm-hmm.
he said, "Thank you for letting us gather for a happy occasion." Because so
Absolutely.
often when we get together, it's
Mm-hmm.
somebody's funeral or something like that. So it was nice that we were just sitting down for dinner, just enjoying each other's company. I didn't have any dessert. And my one niece always brings in drinks. So we had drinks and we had food. We had fellowship. And then
Mm-hmm.
by 4:30, they were on the way home because we
Woo!
had 2 o'clock. So my husband could enjoy the evening, whatever sporting event was, in peace and quiet.
Mhm. But isn't that special?
But it was. And so one of the things he said was, he says, "Well, do we have any pop?" I said, "We have water."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but I couldn't. I told me and Lynn decided whatever we fixed for dinner had to be in this house. We had
Mm-hmm.
water from the tap, and I did have a bottle of water, like one of those big gallon jugs of water we could
Mm-hmm.
use. But all the food was already in the house. It was in our pantry,
Mm-hmm.
fridge, or freezer. So it was like, if it's not in this house, we're not having it today. And then my niece came in with the drinks. So it was like, hey, we
Oh,
were good. We were good.
absolutely, absolutely. And we need to do more of that.
Yes.
Bringing our community, our family community together, and because when I think about the uncertainty that's going on in the world,
Yes.
we need as family units to be tight
Yes.
because, things are happening.
Mhm.
Things are happening, and who knows what tomorrow brings.
Mhm.
And so, not to go morbid, but
Yeah.
just to put it out there. Now, before we go any further, because we're going to talk about one more thing, and that's the meals produced method. Meals produced, and we'll come back to that. But to all of you who may be here with us, and I certainly thank all of you who are here in the comments, and those of you who are at home listening. Miss Denise, we're up to 100, and
We
you
have
know,
what? Wait, what?
yes, yes,
We have
yes,
100 people on?
yes, yes, yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you guys, thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you for joining us. We believe that as a modern home economist, that we prepare intentionally,
Intentionally.
that we manage our resources wisely, and that we're building stability for our family in every season. And we're not talking about seasons like fall, winter, spring. We're
Mm.
talking about whatever the season is. Like right now, we're in a change of season. It's a
Yes.
little shaky. We don't know where we're going, but it is. We're in a different season, and it could be because of illness. It could be because of whatever it may be. Because some of you out there, I know, are dealing with situations of where illnesses have come upon people in your family that perhaps you were dependent on, and things have had to change. You've had to do some things different.
Well, not only that, but
Mhm.
we can also look at season as season of life.
Exactly.
If you look at TJ or Nina,
Mhm.
who were
Mhm.
guests on the show, their
Mhm.
season of life, they're raising children. They're still doing the mommy life.
That's right.
Whereas you and I, we are in the season of life where it's just me and the hubby, or you and the hubby at home,
Mhm.
and we're empty nesters and we've raised our family and now we're getting to enjoy our grandchildren.
Mhm.
Or it could be like your young um, military wife, that's a struggling season right there. That's a
Yes.
tough season. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So we are here. We appreciate your presence here on Wednesday night. We hope that you are certainly, and we know that quite a few of you are. You're embracing the modern home economist system because we know that we don't drift, that we decide.
Boom.
We're making intentional decisions to prepare for our family. So let's talk about those meals produced. Now, I tell you, when I wrote this down, I thought about something Miss Denise had said. She had watched somebody on YouTube. We're always watching somebody else too on
Yeah.
YouTube, and she had watched somebody on YouTube, and he gave her a whole new perspective on looking at our pantries. And I started to look at my pantry as I was starting to put things back in and trying to jot down, okay, I've got a can of tuna. What can I do with it? I've got a can of salmon. What can I do with it? And really looking at the meals that you can actually produce. If I've got two chicken breasts in the freezer, or I've got a pack of chicken wings or something in the freezer, a pack of shrimp that's in the freezer, that's our protein that we're looking at. So as we look at our full pantry, and we're looking at our four corners pantry, our main pantry, our refrigerator, our freezer, and our extended pantry, we're trying to make a decision on how many meals can we actually prepare. And so I think you use the word auditing.
Yes, that was what
Mhm.
the YouTube creator I was watching said. He called it an audit. And then Lisa Sutton also did the same thing,
Mhm.
completely different kind of video, but both talking about the same subject the same week. And it was
Mhm.
about auditing so that you know what you can make with what you've got. And
Mhm.
the question was, do you have a bunch of random ingredients,
Mhm.
or can you actually make meals from what you have? And I think this is where our 20 item capsule grocery
Mhm.
comes
Mhm.
number one. But then you actually did your audit. So tell me about that.
Well, I found that, I'm thinking off the top of my head initially that I had probably had 30 days worth of meals that I knew I could put together. And then when I had to actually go through it, I found I had months of meals that I could prepare,
Hmm.
and that with a change of the sauces and seasonings, that we were good.
Hmm.
We were good. Now, as we move into spring, we're looking at more fresh food. Where things are starting to come out, the gardens will eventually, start to grow and produce. And so then we're going to be looking at those meals, but also adding in the freshness into the meal plan. So each of us, it's good to know what you have in your pantry and what you can cook from that pantry, and then cook it.
Hmm.
That's the main thing. And that was one of the things that I think when we first started the challenge was we want the right things in our pantries, but we have to make sure that what we buy, we prepare.
Well, I like the fact that you said that. We want to make sure we have the right things in our pantry, and what we buy, we prepare. But
Mhm,
the other important concept is what you buy, you eat. You
mhm,
you buy what you eat, and then you eat what you buy. Because
mhm,
some of the things that we talk about purchasing may not make sense for your family. When I talk to my beautician and we're talking about prepping, she hates rice. She says she wouldn't eat a bowl of rice if it was the last dish on earth. I won't say what she said it makes her think of, but she will not eat rice. I said, then you shouldn't prep rice in your pantry.
mhm,
There's things that you know you won't eat,
mhm,
don't buy those things. Now,
mhm,
when you talk about preparing what's in your pantry, I had a can of dried carrots from Thrive
mhm,
Life, which I just happened, I don't know if I ordered them or if I saw them something on the shelf at Walmart, one of the two,
mhm,
but I had not used them. So I thought, okay, I'm
mhm,
going to shop my pantry. I'm going to get them out of there. They were wonderful, but what
mhm,
if I didn't like them? And I never used them until it was an emergency and I had to use them.
mhm.
The creek.
Yes. And, once you add a little seasoning to them, you know, you will not miss a beat.
Mhm,
And I keep dehydrated vegetables on the pantry shelf as
mhm.
well, and so I keep those always because I can throw those in a soup. I can make just a quick soup with some broth and the dehydrated vegetables. Have a quick vegetable soup if necessary,
Yes.
and that's refreshing. Or if I have a cold or whatever it might be, and we just never know when we're going, when something like that has to happen. And go ahead, Miss Denise.
Well, not only that, but since I had used them once, I
Mm-hmm.
was making chicken noodle soup today for dinner. And I still have not been out to the store, so I don't have any carrots. And I
Mm-hmm.
had planned to order groceries today before the show, but I didn't get to it, so I'll probably order them tomorrow. But I
Mm-hmm.
thought, oh, I used those Thrive Life carrots before, and they were so good. And I now knew how to prepare them. So
Mm-hmm.
whereas typically you were supposed to pour boiling water over them, let them sit for 15 minutes, and then use them. But
Mm-hmm.
since I was making soup, I could just pour the cup into my broth and just let it boil right along with
Mm-hmm.
everything else. So I
Mm-hmm.
had learned how to work with them.
Absolutely. And that was just by accident, you
Yes.
know, and we learn a lot by accident and just trial and error. We have to try it. So,
Hmm.
Miss Denise, I'm going to jump over for just a minute and see how everything's going because they're chatting it up over there.
The chat is hot.
And let me go to Relax Bubble. And that's Stephanie. And she said she's tracked groceries and shopped with Liz for several years, but she's still improving her bag of tricks because of us and her and the community. Yay. Thanks, Steph. We
She is a
appreciate
modern
that.
home economist.
And we've got Frilly Feminist. I love that. She says she finally made a live with her two favorite ladies, and we are so glad you're here with us. And M. Gallagher saying that we are all suffering a PTSD with what's going on in the world right now. You're absolutely right. You're
Mhm.
absolutely right. Laurie said she agrees and she limits how much news she watches.
Yes.
Sierra said that one of her earliest memories is her dad and her sitting on their glass table, and they went through it too. Oh,
Leona, though, I never sat on the table. I didn't even let children sit on the table. You don't sit on tables. But I was just like, and I,
oh,
but I'm
you
not the only one, apparently.
know, and you are so blessed that you didn't get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Frilly Feminist said that Lady J, she said she lost her mom too, and she loved her dearly.
Oh,
And Deb Whitmore is with us tonight, and she said, "Hello, hello to all of you. We're glad to have you here." And Christine has been following right along with us,
yes, she's been
and she said,
dedicated.
"With wise, strong women like our aunties, we will be okay. We are resilient homemakers." You know, Christine, that's a powerful statement. Yes, we are resilient. And Lady J's Junket said, "Thank you so much."
Yeah, I
And
think some of them are talking about losing their mom,
yes, let me.
but I'm not sure where it started.
I know I saw it.
Was it?
Okay.
Did someone lose their? Well,
Oh, okay. Here it is. Lady J said, Miss Leon, she has to admit she shed a few tears when she first saw me because of how much I looked like her mom, her
oh,
deceased mom. Well, how sweet of you.
yeah.
And I am certainly honored, and I thank you for sharing that with us.
Mhm.
Um, Now, let's see. Sierra said that it's important for her to monitor what and how much that she's consuming. And she says she really doesn't believe that God created us to take in information all the time with technology and that we have with 24/7. And she said it's just overwhelming. And you're absolutely right.
Science backs that up.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Definitely. Psalms 146 said the early bird catches the worm. She said, if she doesn't arrive early, remember she was the first one here today. She said, there are so many distractions that pop up, and she just didn't want to miss a thing. Well, we are certainly glad that you are here with us. And she said, that's a good point. And Kim said she's got your new job starts on Monday. Yay!
Great.
Yes, so she had been missing the lives because she had been working,
Uh-huh.
and so she says she hopes she'll be able to make more of these. Well, I am so glad to have you here with us. Congratulations to you.
Mhm.
Okay, now Deb came in late. We're glad to have you in, Debbie. And she said last week she caught both of us at the end. She said time got away from her and she had forgotten it was Wednesday. Bless her heart. Um,
Debbie, we're always glad when you join us. You always have something fun to add.
she does. She does. A lot of wisdom.
Yes,
And JD Star said she sure enjoyed the breakfast videos.
they were
Oh,
fun.
it was fun. It was really fun, and we had a great time doing it. Um, Frilly Feminist said, "Oh, I'm sending many hints about getting one of your adorable aprons for Mother's Day." Yay!
Getting the website.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I'm having a problem. It's like I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, which one don't I have so I can get a new one?
Girl, don't you get
And
way mad at me.
fortunately, all I have to do is say, I need to get something from Denise. And he says, oh, okay. So Covington Creek is with us, and she said, thanks us for mentioning it. She said the canning book said to never run the pressure canner with an empty space, and suggested canning a bottle of water, and it keeps the jars from falling. And she may have a little more a little later.
Mhm.
But anyway, I remember looking at what she said, and what she basically said, guys, was like, for instance, say you're canning jelly, and your canner, water bath canner or pressure canner, whichever it is, only has slots for 8 jars. You only have 4. Then fill the rest of those slots up with jars of water,
Mhm.
and put your lids on, put your seals on, and that way you're accumulating your jars of water without having to make a real effort to can water. It just accumulates over time. And
Mhm.
so that was a great idea. Deb Whitmore said she hopes everyone has been safe through the storms these past few days. I don't
Oh,
know.
it has been like Wuthering Heights around here. I thought the house was gonna blow down.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
just
my
the wind
goodness.
and rain though.
Yeah, that must be what's coming our way.
Mhm.
We were at 90 today, and supposed to be at 40 tomorrow. So,
I thought that only happened in Indiana.
no, evidently not. But the Frilly feminist said, she said, if this helps, she said she needed more lighting in a few places and couldn't wire. So she got some battery lights and a charger and recharging batteries. And
Mhm.
she said it's not the best, but it does help her out a lot. You're absolutely right. That's what I've got in at this point, is one of those rechargeable lights. But I just wanted a permanent light. And while he was here, I thought I could get it, but that didn't work out. So it wasn't meant to be. But, it's funny. It's the little things. It's the
Yes.
little things. Um, Let me come down here. Hazel said, yes, she's been keeping up with receipts. And she says something she's done anyway. And she's trying to stay on track. Well, that's great. That's great. Uh, Alexandria says she scans hers to fetch to
Oh,
earn cash back as well. I haven't used fetch. Have you?
I have not, but I have heard it is a way to earn cash back.
Hmm.
I think maybe I'm a little too old school because some of these new things, I'm just like, okay, I can't do that. I can do this, but not that.
Yeah, yeah. I think the little younger generation, they're using a lot of the apps that are available, and they're working it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just haven't tried that. Um, Kim said that she keeps up with receipts, and she's below budget. Yay! She says she also scans them all into her apps, and she gets
Oh,
gift cards for Christmas. It's a win-win so far for March. Yay! That's a
okay.
great idea. That's a great idea. Now, TJ said she's been tracking using a digital app as well. This challenge is making her more intentional and focused on her spending and using what they have.
Boom.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's what we want to hear. That makes us excited.
Mm-hmm.
Relax Bubbles said that she's keeping the receipts, and she's within her $150 a week budget. Woohoo!
Yes.
And we all need to give ourselves a hug, and just, whether you've been able to stay under budget or just make budget, give yourself a hug. And
Mm-hmm.
if you went over a little bit, give yourself some grace,
Yes.
because it
Exactly.
happens. It
Exactly.
happens. Kim said she's breaking her amounts out also to see where she is for the cat. Her paper and cleaning and toiletries, her outreach foods. And she said she's helping out one of her daughters. And that is certainly that's amazing. And that's one of the things that I had really thought about as we were saving money with the budget, that I could put it into, because each first Sunday we collect canned goods and those kind of things for those who need it. And that was a great way to be able to accumulate the money necessary to purchase those items to
Mhm.
take. So, we're great minds at thinking alike. Psalms 146 says she had tossed out last week's receipt while decluttering, but she had only spent like $83 last week. And she said this week was 159, and she was able to use the extra on moving boxes and tapes and an air freshener spray. All right, all
Yeah.
right. Because
Uh,
I think if I remember, you are getting ready to move,
I
I
think
believe. I think that's the case. We've got Emma, Emma Lynn, and good evening. Thanks to both of us, all the wonderful advice she's learned about shopping and using more effectively.
she's becoming a modern home economist.
Yes, 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 yes. And let's talk a little bit.
Well,
Uh,
before we go, could you get Kathleen Hanson?
okay, what time?
She's at 8:53.
Okay. Mhm. Oh wow, I hadn't gotten far enough down. A
Over
oh,
there,
okay.
but 8:53. I
53?
Yeah, 8:53.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Right
Okay.
before
I
Debbie.
see her. Who'd you say it was?
Kathleen Hanson.
Okay. Oh, here she is.
Yeah.
Okay. Kathleen said that she does delivery and she uses her Snap Plus cash when she runs out of Snap. She said her Snap comes on the 13th, so Monday. She used the last $30 of her Snap Plus and $30 from her two Kroger gift cards from the 2025 class and debit. Yay! So you were able to pull from different resources in
Mhm.
order to tie you over to do what you needed to do. I love that.
Yeah, and in some states they get what's called like a SNAP Plus or SNAP Cash
Mhm,
for being in some kind of category or doing
mhm.
certain things. So it's good that she has that. And then also, if people are really struggling and need some assistance, you can always have family members donate gift cards to you too.
Oh,
Now,
that's
you may
true.
not really need another bag, a
Mhm.
handbag or something like that, but you can always use a Kroger gift card. So yeah.
Or a general Visa gift card. Any of those will work.
Yes, because they'll work at any grocery store.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes they work better at the grocery.
Mhm.
Now, Kathleen said that Kroger had whole chickens, buy one, get one free last week.
But
So
see, I couldn't find them here in Fort Wayne. They were out.
somebody mentioned that last week, remember?
Covington Creek, she mentioned.
Okay, okay, was talking about that. And that is just crazy.
Mhm.
And we may start to see more of that because, you just never know.
I'm
Now,
with
Debbie said that with Fetch, you take pictures of your receipts for points, and they give you extra points on some kind of little spin thing that they have. And if you link online shopping and your email, it will give your points, I guess, to the particular location that, oh, yes, to your online shopping. And she said it really does add up fast.
you.
So that's a great idea. That's worth doing, and I guess that's not totally crazy. And
No.
you
Now,
can use it.
you can do it, like she's not an empty nester. Well, I think she's an
Mhm,
empty nester. She has grandchildren. Her
mhm,
children are out.
mhm,
So
mhm.
maybe I should try to figure that out.
I might have to figure that out myself. Pull the phone out because we've been. I'm just not good with pulling that phone out when it comes to those kind of things, but I
Mhm.
can learn. All right. So, the fun part of either tracking or, as Miss Denise says, auditing what
Mhm.
we have in our pantry is the fun part is that it really does tell the story of your kitchen. And it does it through numbers. And, sometimes it's hard for us to be able to see our success. And so because of that, when we're doing what we're doing right now with being able to track our receipts and keep up with the receipts, we have the numbers right there.
Mhm.
And we're able to like in my case using cash, I'm able to see how much I've got, that I have not spent. And so that's nice to be able to have. It makes us aware of our spending. I think it was Miss Denise, you were saying earlier that you are at a point, and I have to say, I'm kind of at a point too. Even if I go in the grocery, I'm focused.
I try to be.
I'm not wandering all over the place. And I want to,
Yeah.
let me just be honest. I want to, it's pulling me, but I'm not. And that's where we're trying not to drift throughout all the grocery store, to stay with what's on the list. And it really does help us to discipline ourselves in trying to stay within our budgets. It also, um, the second thing is that, we waste a lot of food, and
Mhm.
sometimes.
In this country.
Yes. And so sometimes things sit in the freezer way too long,
Mhm.
sit in the refrigerator way too long, and
Mhm.
you end up having to throw those items away. That's our money that we're throwing away. So we want to make sure that we are buying what we're actually going to use,
Mhm.
that we have a plan for it, that we're following the plan, that we're eating what we buy,
Mhm.
all of those things, in making sure that what we purchase is of value,
Yes.
and that we're just not buying things just because it looked good on television and you thought, oh, well, I think I'll pick up one of those, only to find when you get it home, it goes in the back of your pantry and you never touch it. So that's what that really is, a waste. But here's the biggie. How many of you in the chat at this point are starting to feel the confidence of the modern home economist? There's a confidence that comes with it. You may not, it's not going to jump out at you, but it will just kind of all of a sudden you'll say, wow, wow. We have been working over the weeks. We've been keeping up with our spending. We've been cooking what we buy, and we're staying within our budgets.
Mhm.
There's a confidence that comes with that. So I hope, and you let us know who's starting to feel that confidence and knowing exactly where your money's going. That's a big thing. Not just for groceries. That's for anything. In anything. If you work, you're making money, you want to know where your money's going and what you're spending it on.
And that confidence is
Mhm.
helping with the discipline.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so confidence is powerful. So, what should homemakers expect right now? The biggest effects that you may see at this point is that we're starting to see higher fuel prices. And as we see higher fuel prices, we're going to also start to see that our groceries, we thought they were high, but there will be some things that are going to go up even more because the transportation cost is going to go up as the fuel costs continue to increase. You may start to feel, even in some other areas, a little bit of economic uncertainty. But I am hoping that as we slowly come into our next week and where we're tracking and we're doing the things. We are doing what we have planned to do, and we're following the system. I'm hoping that you're going to get to a point where you'll know I've got it under control.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I'm going. I'm going to meal plan. I've got a solid grocery list. My pantry's in good condition, and I can cook meals out of that pantry. So if anything happens, you know, you have a plan.
Well,
And
not only, oh,
go ahead, go ahead.
sorry. You finish first.
Well, and that's confidence in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I wanted to add to that as you are thinking about that, that not only do you have a plan, but think about the things that you can do
Mm-hmm,
and the things that you can't affect.
mm-hmm,
So when you think about your pantries, and you mentioned this earlier, that you want to know, like, what do you need to top off? What are some things that you find gaps in your pantry? And
mm-hmm,
so when you do your next shopping activity, you can fill in those gaps. You can do that. And you've mentioned the fact too that fuel prices are going up. So one of the things that you might want to consider is that keep your vehicles fueled up. Like when you
mm-hmm,
get down to a quarter tank, if at
mm-hmm,
all possible, top it off. Because
mm-hmm.
if you have to top off a quarter tank, it's going to cost a lot less than topping off a half a tank or a quarter tank full. So you don't want to let your tank get too low. And then try to combine your errands, like make one round trip for where you got to go. We had to go out the other day. We had a doctor's appointment. We had to pick up a prescription. We needed to go here for something in particular. And my husband was like, we're going to make one circuit. We're going to start here and we're going to go here, here, and here. So try to make a route or a route, however you say that in your particular part of the country, in a way that you're conserving gas that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're planning your grocery trips intentionally. So no midweek runs. You're not running to the store for every little thing, but you can conserve on fuel that way. And if necessary, carpool. If it makes sense for
Mm-hmm.
you, carpool. But we're going to remain calm and
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you may have someone who you can help out. Doesn't have to be a relative. It could be just somebody in the neighborhood who just needs to ride along to the grocery store.
yeah.
And I we've been trying to keep when we get down a fourth of a tank, we fill it up. And
Hmm.
that's so that we can keep those numbers down. Now, Philly Feminist said that she's getting there,
Hmm.
especially after finding our videos and community. Thank you so much. That's so sweet.
You are so welcome.
She said, Debbie has shared that clip coupons, go online, print the coupons if you can. She said she used to do couponing when her kids were growing up. She wrote her list out by dinner planning, got coupons out, and used that as she was buying. And
Mhm.
the nice thing is too, is that if you're doing what I do a lot of shopping online and having them deliver. And so it's easy to clip those coupons right there
Mhm.
on the computer as I'm making those orders. And you can actually see the money that's coming back. And they kind of give you a total at the end as to how much you've saved.
I
So
like that.
that's nice to see. Um, She said, Philly Feminist said the idea that she can talk to women or people all over and learn from their wisdom is beyond belief and wonderful. You are absolutely right. It is so nice to be able to have a community because we are, as the United States, a melting pot. And across the world. Tonight we had a person from China.
Dana,
Woo-hoo!
bring it
And we've each week is like we have somebody from another part of the world. We're not alone. And
nowhere.
we are all in this boat together, trying to find our footing in
Mhm.
what we're doing. So let's stay at it. we've got
Hey,
creatively
Stephanie.
Miss Stephanie with us, and her husband told her that she was being crazy to go out and then
She
work her
worked
way
her way
back
back home.
home. Oh, okay. So she's going out and she's working her way back home. And that's a great way to do it.
Mhm.
And that's what we try to do, is to plan the trips and to know where we're going. Now, pray your way through. Hello, we're glad to have you here. Um, Okay. She let me know that the grocery starter sheet is
Mhm.
not working in the description box. She said it is working on your channel. Wonder why it's working. I took it
I'll
off of
send
your
it to
channel.
you. I'll send it to you again, just in case you got the
Okay.
link wrong or something.
Okay. Just to make sure we have it on both channels. So you
Yeah.
have it there.
Mm.
So I would take care of that. Thank you for letting us know. And also, maybe grab a few gas cans to keep
Ah.
full for power outages and emergencies. And now's that time of the year when you may certainly, because of storms that are coming through. I was looking tonight, it's awful tornadoes that have been popping up because of the changes and craziness and unsettling weather situations.
Can you
That,
back up to that for a minute?
which one?
The gas cans.
Oh, the gas can. Hold on. Oh, right here.
We went back.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to make a comment from a safety perspective.
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
your gas cans, if you keep them, if you can, try to keep them out in a shed, not in your
Mhm.
garage, in your house, just
Yes.
in case there's any kind of emergency that they should catch fire or explode. Keeping
Mhm.
those gas cans is a great idea, but just be careful where you put them.
That's
Your
true.
basement, not in your house, outside, either, like in a shed or something like that.
Mhm.
Push comes to shove, maybe they might be better off on the patio, but not in your house. I would encourage you to look it up. Google, how should I store gas cans? Let's put it
Yes.
that way. Google how I should store gas cans because
Mhm.
it's important to do that.
It is. It is. And even your propane, for your propane tanks, for your grills, be careful with those as well. And we keep ours outside. Um, Frilly said another thing she started doing is gathering edible plants from her local walking trails and planting them in her yard. She says she doesn't take a ton, but she plants some to spread just in case we have food shortages. And, in mentioning growing, now is a great time. I went over to Home Depot and I was looking to see if they had their herbs,
Mhm.
and no, they weren't in yet. But he said within they're expecting them in the next day or so. So we want to start our own. If you don't have a yard large enough, like my yard has a lot of shade, so I need something portable that I can move to the place where the sun is,
Mhm.
and but it's nice to have some type of either container garden, or if you can plant in your yard, now is the time to start thinking about something that you can grow.
Make
And
a plan.
that's right, make a plan even for that, even if it's just your herbs. If you have them, you will use them.
You will
And,
love it.
and you'll like it. I promise you. And Kim said she loved her dried herbs all winter. I did too.
Mhm.
And so Sierra was saying her 7-month-old is loving this chat, even if she's supposed to be sleeping. I love it. I love it. And so, Miss Denise, you have anything you want to share before we close out tonight?
Let's see. Let me just see. Well, one of the things I do want to mention, someone mentioned the aprons. We do have aprons
Mhm.
on our website. So aprondiva.com. Be sure to check us out there. And then also want to mention Miss Leona's winter entertaining guide is
Mhm.
available in her description box. And she's working on the spring. It's coming.
Yes, yes, yes. The
Yeah.
spring.
But I think other than that, if we could just stay the course and keep working at it. And as you do your audit of your pantries this week, just think about how many meals you can make with the ingredients that you
That's true. That's true. Just jot it down. If nothing else, just for the sake of being able to it's satisfying to you
have. Hmm.
once you can start to see how you can bring those meals together. And it really, if you haven't felt that confidence, you will feel it at
Right.
that point. And remember, you're not just looking at what's in your just normal pantry, you're
Mhm.
looking at what's in your freezer, what's in your refrigerator, and what's in your extended pantry, and of course, your regular pantry. So that gives you your four areas of
Mhm.
being able to bring all of that together. But, we are talking about as we're tracking, we're measuring, we're doing
Mhm.
it mathematically. We're
Yeah.
using that art and science of
Okay.
preparing the kitchen and homemaking. And so what gets measured gets managed.
Definitely. What gets
And
measured gets managed.
so we want to be able to track our grocery spending. We want to stop guessing. We want to stop guessing. Well, I guess I've got enough.
Mhm.
That's not what we want to say. We want to be able to say with confidence, no, I know I've got food in there that I can prepare for my family. It may not be their number one top greatest dinner that you prepared for the year. It doesn't have to be, but you will know that the meal that you have prepared has filled your family. You have given them good nutrition, and you have done it in a way that makes you feel good. Now, before we leave tonight, we're going to stop for just a minute, say a quick prayer
Yes,
as
please.
we go out, and pray for each other. And please remember to do that as well. Dear Heavenly Father, we're just so thankful for being able to bring our community together. Lord, I thank you that even though Miss Denise and I are women of a certain age, and I'm sure you're laughing because you probably don't look at us that way, but we look at ourselves that way. But we're thankful that we have the minds and the health to be able to do what we're able to do right now with our community, that we're able to share what needs to be shared. And God, you are guiding us. Thank you. Thank you for giving us the mind and the thoughts and the ideas, and how you're able to just bring it all together is amazing. Lord, I'm bringing all of the members of our community together because we are all going through uncertain times, no matter where we are on the planet. So I'm just asking you, Father, to take our hands, take our hearts, take our heads, and to guide us. Let us to only listen to those things that are from you, and those things that we need to drop, help us to do that. Let us lay down at night with minds knowing that you are in control, and that no matter what, if we take the time to do what's necessary to prepare for our families, that our families will be stable. We will find the confidence that we're looking for, that those who have husbands and wives and children who may be involved in this conflict, Lord, that you will just keep them safe and bring them home. And most of all, we're asking that you will just end the conflict. Let's just put it out there. Bring it to an end as quickly as possible. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Miss Denise, I hope this has been a great night. It's been
Good.
a great night for us. And I thank all of you who are here in the chat and those of you who are watching. We so appreciate your being here. Next week is going to be full of a lot of good information. So I am just excited about what we're going to bring to you next week. So, without further ado, good night to all of you. Have a blessed and peaceful night.
Good night.
Good night.